Have the Patriots finally fixed their biggest problem on the team? And spoiler alert, it's the offensive line. Welcome to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper, and on today's show, we're going to break it down. They've improved. Eliot Wolf and Mike Vrabel went into the 2025 offseason and made sure that the Patriots were fixing their offensive line. They made a lot of adjustments, a lot of signings, but does it really change the fact of how bad they were from last year? Let's not beat around the bush. It was the worst, if not one of the worst offensive lines that we have ever seen in NFL history. Like, if you want to pull up the statistics, the pass block win rate was terrible. 51%. That means you were only winning against your guy 50% of the time. Second to last in the NFL. Run block win rate, 67%. Yeah, a little bit better because you don't have to just stand there. You can push. Still not good. It was dead last in the NFL. Pressure rate, 39%. Half the time, Drake Maye, or when it was Jacoby Brissett for 4 games, dropping back, yeah, he was running for his life. I got a little stat for you guys later, and it'll blow your mind. And the sack rate, 9th, 29th in the NFL. It was bad. It was an historic bad line. And it started with the injuries. I mean, David Andrews got hurt. You were just kind of just rotating multiple times, just like it never worked, and thankfully, Drake Maye was a great enough quarterback in his rookie year to not honestly get hurt. I mean, we saw with bad offensive lines just how bad the Bears were with Caleb Williams. He was sacked the most times in the NFL because he just had nothing to do with. And when you're a quarterback, it doesn't matter if you're Patrick Mahomes. It didn't matter if you were Tom Brady. It didn't matter if you were Aaron Rodgers or Mitch Trubisky. If you have a bad offensive line, you aren't going to succeed. And that's the number one priority that the Patriots went into 2025. Going to break down the offensive line a little more, but we are on our way to 27,000 subscribers. If I do the math correctly, 397 away from 27,000. When I started this channel back at the beginning of May, we had less than 26,000. Now we're on our way to 27. You could be a real one. Subscribe to Patriots Today if you love free Patriots content all off season long. And once the season starts, the watch parties begin. So I just want to pull up some more stats from just how bad the Patriots offensive line was. Like their pass blocking grade, 52.2 pass blocking grade, 31st in the NFL. And the run block, dead last. Like this just wasn't good. And there was multiple, they were trying to fix it. They were trying to just figure out ways that it would be better. And they were rotating every single person. And that's one thing that Mike Vrabel has said that we saw. Like, he wasn't here last year, but it's also kind of the same. You want to really have your center, all your interior offensive linemen to know how to play left guard, center, and right guard. You don't want to have to rotate them because that's what the Patriots were doing last year. And they tried 11 different times. They switched 11 different combinations in 2024 to try to get this offensive line good. They were trying Michael Jordan. They were trying Cole Strange once he came back for those 2 games. They were trying Ben Brown at center. You had Layden Robinson, Darian Lowe, like just all over the place. And it was not good. So they went into the offseason and they made a completely different lineup. And the first thing that they did was in free agency. I think they knew that whole time that they were going to draft Will Campbell at that 4th spot. They knew right away, like, he is our left tackle. He is our guy because the top 3 were clear as day who they were going to be with Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and then Abdul Carter. So the Patriots were set at 4. They knew that Will Campbell was going to be available. You get him. Cole Strange, he's going into his last year of his contract because the Patriots declined their 5th year. You had Garrett Bradbury, who they signed. I'm not really sure if he's going to be the starting center, but right now I'm going to put him there. Solid veteran from the Vikings. Mike Vrabel's returning. And then you have Morgan Moses coming over from the Jets. Struggled with a knee injury, but once he's healthy, he's a veteran that has been teaching Will Campbell. And when you look at the PFF grade differences, like, you can't compare Darian Lowe and Will Campbell because he's a rookie, but Michael Jordan, he's the only one out of those guys that had a better PFF grade. And Cole Strange, he only played 2 games. Can you really have a good sample size with 2 games? Like Ben Brown, way worse than Garrett Bradbury. Mike Vrabel, same person. And then Demontre Jacobs was terrible. 38.4 Pro Football Focus grade compared to Morgan Moses, 63.3. I think this offensive line is increased. I think it's good. I'm not going to say it's out there great because you still have a couple problems here and you don't know what Will Campbell's going to be. But you guys let me know down in the comments down below if the Patriots improve their offensive line. Type Y for yes or type N for no. I think it's increased, and I said it. I don't think it's going to be as good that you want it to be. It's going to take a little bit. I think it's going to not be the worst in the NFL, but Pro Football Focus doesn't think so. They still think that the Patriots' offensive line is bad. They ranked it the 29th in the NFL. So they don't think that anything's going to really change. They think that it's going to be better, but they think it's still going to be one of the worst in the NFL. This is what they had to say. They said, Pats made multiple moves to address the NFL's worst offensive line during the offseason. Right tackle Morgan Moses, who turned 33 in March and missed time due to an injury last season, joined on a 3-year deal after ranking just 52nd among offensive tackles in PFF grade in 2024. They also signed center Garrett Bradbury, whose 50.5 Pro Football Focus pass blocking grade placed him 35th among 39 qualifying centers. Then you have Will Campbell. He's promising, but unlikely a rookie can elevate this unit to an average level in 2025. You improved it. You got guys. You got guys that are a lot better that are Michael Jordan and Vidarian Lowe and DeMontre Jacobs. Like Morgan Moses is a solid player, and he's going to be a good right tackle so you can actually pass block, and Drake Maye can sit back in the pocket and not have 1 second before he's scrambling for his life. But it's not all about paper. You got to prove yourself on the field. And there's 3 questions that I still have about the Patriots offensive line that probably are going to linger throughout the entire season, if not even into next year or later down the road this year. The first one, can Will Campbell play left tackle? We've all heard it. I've heard it all around the Chat Sports office. I've heard it all over social media, all over the internet. Can Will Campbell play left tackle? His arms are small. He has T-Rex arms. He is a true guard. But if you look at what he did last year with LSU, that's one of the best pass blocking left tackles in the country. Like, he was the best person in the draft. You took him. Only allowing 2 sacks in 866 snaps last year at LSU. Yeah, 9 penalties. You can fix that with good coaching. But overall, he was the best offensive lineman, and he proved in the NFL that he can be that left tackle. Do we not realize that left tackles let up 16 sacks last year? Will Campbell let up 2. That is an extreme difference between last year. And they're like, oh, Brett, he's playing college ball. It's the SEC. You have NFL ball and then SEC ball. That gets you ready for the pros. And I think Will Campbell is going to come in day one. Also learning from Morgan Moses, he has talked about it. He has talked multiple times that he's worked after practice, trying to just be the best left tackle they can be. He said he wants to die on the field for Drake Maye, for crying out loud. He's going to be left tackle, and he's going to be good, but it's still a question that you have to ask. Second one, is Garrett Bradbury going to be the starter? And I was looking around at stats, and I saw when the Vikings saw that they let him go, that they were happy. And right now, because you didn't want Ben Brown to return. You didn't want him to be the starter. Cole Strange, we don't know if he's going to be healthy. Is he going to be the starter? So you have Bradberry, let up 4 sacks as a center, which isn't that great. 17 games played, so he's durable. But the question I have is Jared Wilson going to take his spot? The 2025 third-round pick. And this is a versatile guy. He can play center. He can play guard. And when you look at his stats last year at Georgia, and I'll make this note again, SEC ball, Georgia, pass blocking grade 85, run block 76, overall, like just a solid player. Jared Wilson, Patriots, go watch Forged in Foxborough. They loved this kid. They were loving that he was available in the 3rd round, and they got him. So I think that they see highly of him, and I could easily see Jared Wilson being that starting center as we head later into the season. It's going to be Garrett Bradbury unless he sucks during training camp and Jared Wilson shines. And the last question, it's the biggest question mark of this whole entire offensive line. What the hell are the Pats going to do at left guard? because you declined Cole Strange's fifth-year option. You obviously don't want him to return after this year because he hasn't been productive, he hasn't looked good, and the biggest thing about it, he hasn't been healthy. You had that first year, 17 games played, but then after that, it was like 10, 3. He can't stay on the field. And when he is staying on the field, he hasn't looked good. So do you really want to put him at left guard? You had a guy that retired, and he's not coming back, so now you're stuck with C.D. So as your backup. Do you really want that to be your backup left guard? I don't think so. So for me personally, I would go out and sign a left guard. And there's Brendan Sheriff that's still sitting there just waiting to be signed, and I don't know why he hasn't signed. I don't know why the Patriots haven't called him up because we're 2 weeks away from training camp. If you called him up and said, yeah, his stock has plummeted because he just wants to get on a team. So if the Patriots said 1-year deal, maybe for $3 million, why don't you sign him? Go right ahead. He's right there, provides a solid veteran, and it's better than Cole Strange, let's be honest here. Do you want the Patriots to sign another left guard? That's the biggest question mark, the biggest weak spot of that offensive line. Cole Strange, I think they want to get rid of you just because it's clear as day that declining the options, like, we don't see you here in the future. Let me know down in the comments. Type S for sign or type P for pass. That's going to do it for today's episode of Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Today. We're on our way to 27,000 subs. And as always, let's go Pats.